Kempire is brought to you by Happy 2025. It's a new year and it's a new era for the Kempire podcast. Make sure you subscribe today and make sure that you give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And shout out to those of you that have left glowing reviews and maybe not so glowing reviews. That's okay too. Thank you so much for the support and sharing our new podcast and everything that's to come. We don't just recap all the things that you've seen already on our YouTube channel. You also get special exclusive episodes and sometimes additional thoughts to the live recaps that we had on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe today and make sure you give us a 5-star review. Thank you in advance. You're listening to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio Network. Happy Valentine's Day, guys. Valentine's Day is literally around the corner. Have you got, look how long I've had these roses. I've had these roses for months. Shout out to our friends over at Rose Forever, who is sponsoring today's live recap of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and New York City reunion. We've partnered with them yet again to give you roses that last you at least a year. Check out our community tab for more details on all the great, wonderful things that Rose Forever is doing, but also check out the description for your link to purchase something now. You have like 2 weeks before Valentine's Day. I know it feels like Valentine's Day is far away, but it isn't. It's literally a couple of weeks away. Of course, with the discount code Kempire20, there we go. Kempire20, you get $20 off roses that will last you a very long time. But our friends over at Rose Forever have a lot of new things. Candles, they have hydrangeas, they have a bridal bouquet. Just in case you were planning to get married, you can buy it now. It will still last you. Shout out to our friends over there. As you know, I've had so many different assortments from Rose Forever. There's another heart behind me, the pink one, and then this red one. This is very traditional for Valentine's Day. And maybe you want to get something for yourself, maybe something for your kid. I know a lot of parents that end up getting Valentine's gifts for their children. They have like single roses that will last your kids a long time. They're like, Mom, this is like magic. More information on Rose Forever will be available in the description. So shout out to everyone watching on Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. Head on over to the description or on our YouTube channel for more details on how you can get you something from Rose Forever, or send the link. Send the link to your man, your woman, whatever, and make sure you get you a little something for Valentine's Day. All right? I have plenty of roses, and I already have one on the way. And I've actually given this away as a gift as well. But anyways, all right. This is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of New York City reunion and Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We're going to start off with Rhony first. Mama Allie, if we can just keep the timestamps for what we're covering. Before we get to that, though, because I think this is important for me to say, please remember, we don't moderate adults here on the channel. We don't endorse bullying of any kind here on the channel. And what you won't do is tell me how to moderate callers, how to moderate people in the live chat. There's a reason why we have the moderators that we've had. We've had these moderators for years. Their job is very difficult in regards to decipher, are you joking? Are you not joking? Are you being rude? Are you being crass? Some of our moderators, English is not their first language. So sometimes what you guys might say, they might be like, that seems inappropriate. So they're trying to do a job for me. What you're not going to do in the live chat, and this is not to one particular person because I've seen things over the last couple of months, I just haven't had time to address it. What you're not going to do is get in my comment section and threaten anyone. You will be blocked. Don't try it. Now, Real Housewives of New York City reunion. Let's get into that. Let's get into the Real Housewives of New York City reunion. All right, so New York City has not been my favorite this season. We talked about this yesterday during our Tuesday takeover, that Shed Media, the show that produces Real Housewives of New York City and Salt Lake City. I can't wait to talk about Salt Lake City. Oh, I think tonight, guys, I'm going to try. I've been so busy. Sidebar, shout out to Watch What Crappens. I will be at the Crappy Awards here in New York City on Saturday. Check out my Instagram for details on how you can watch it, stream it as well. Okay, so check that out on my Instagram. You can see all the information in there. Okay, all right. So I'll be at the Crappy Awards this Saturday. They got me out on Saturday night, but I'm excited that they're here in New York City. Anyways, So as you know, Real Housewives of New York has not been my favorite. However, there's a lot of stuff that I want to unpack from the reunion. The reunion fashions we've already talked about. They look great, but I'm not going to be... Oh, wait. I was talking about they're doing casting. Shed Media announced that they're looking for some new housewives. Doesn't mean that they're doing a complete reboot of Real Housewives of New York. It feels as if they are going to make some changes. Okay? Look, we said yesterday, if you were here for our Tuesday takeover, that there are a lot of changes that could be made. I would get rid of Brynn. Maybe make Uba a friend of, if that. To be honest with you, I said yesterday initially, you can get rid of Uba too. And it's not because of what happened in Puerto Rico. It's just, Uba, you're not sharing your life. You can't be a full-time housewife and not share something or give us something besides annoying us. Brynn, the evidence has proven that she's a dangerous person to have on this cast. And I wouldn't want her in my real-life friend group. Who else is in this? Look, who else is in this cast? I do want to give Raquel another chance because she was the only one that had a real story this season. It's sad to hear that even though it seemed as if things were improving when it came to her mom, based on the update from the reunion, her mom still hasn't set up the iPad, hasn't come to New York City, hasn't really been in communication with her. So I think she did what a lot of parents probably do. You're filming this, I'm going to act as if things are good. So things are still not good. Maybe we can unpack that again next season. I just think that Raquel is, first of all, gorgeous. Let me just say that. She looks amazing at this reunion. To see her in motion was like, oh my God, beautiful, beautiful. But I think she would be good for this cast. Jenna Lyons, although I do still like Jenna Lyons and I give respect to Jenna Lyons and what she's done with her career, we're good. And the fact that someone had to call her out for sharing more in the media than on this show with the cast was another reason why you should be fired. Oh, come on. And I think she's a nice person. Please understand when I say these things about someone not returning, it's not because it's nothing personal. It's talking about we're producing. We're all producers. Okay? We're all producers. Okay, so Jenna, we're good. I thought you should have stayed away for a second season. I think you should have just rode that the fame of the first season and was like, I'm not coming back. You have a whole relationship that you don't want to share, which is fine. But we have a bunch of women on this cast that have a relationship that they don't want to share. It's becoming too much. Bye, Jenna. It's thank you for your services, but not really. Okay? Sai revealed during the reunion that she's no longer in therapy. Hear me out. We promote therapy. We think therapy is important. Sai only did that as a storyline. Okay? Sai, we told you not to change. I don't care what anyone says. You can change. You can evolve. You can grow. You can learn from your mistakes. But she made a whole personality change, which is not her. And I think in the reunion, she was just like, I'm going to be myself. I still hate the dress, Sai. I still like the dress. But look. Anyways, what else did I want to talk about ahead of this before we get to the details? Okay, the fashion. So Brynn walks into this reunion, no accountability, still making excuses. As you saw the Rolling Stone interview that she did, doubled down that maybe Uba didn't clock it, but she did in fact tell Uba. Okay. But we're going to revisit that in probably part 2. I hope there's only 2 parts, but I think it's 3 parts, isn't it? Oh, God. We didn't need 3 parts. Okay. But apparently Brynn, I forgot because it's been such a long season, or it felt like a long season, that Brynn had issues with Sai and Aaron at the top of the season. And Brynn was like, you were calling me all kinds of names to Aaron. And Aaron was like, I didn't call you any names. And then I think production was trying to help Brynn because they know she's going to have a tough reunion. So they were trying to help Brynn, and they listed all the different names that Aaron had called her in that conversation. And I was like, well, none of them were lies. Everything that Aaron had called her to be, she really was. So Brynn wanted to be, she walks into this reunion. She literally went to Jessel's dressing room, and was just like, I think everything's okay. And Jessel's like, you think everything's okay? Jessel, girl, a little Botox and a little filler. You look great. I did see that Andy Cohen was responding to backlash to continue to ask women about what work they've had done. And he says, this is a resounding question that we get from people all the time in regards to, what are the women doing? You guys let me know. I'm not a woman. I don't know how that makes women feel bringing up a conversation about Botox and filler. I feel like, especially here, we like having the conversations and being open and transparent if people want to be. Okay? And it didn't seem as if Jessel was blindsided or uncomfortable answering the question. She's just like, I didn't get to finish my question, my response. Mary says, keep asking, Andy. I want to know. See? But he decided to address it because I'm sure he's probably seen a few comments about it. He's responded to this comment for over the years. I mean, I don't necessarily see a problem with it. His comment about her looking like a walking, what did he say? A filter? A walking filter? Or something like that. I forgot what he said. But I was sort of like, that was snarky. I mean, because that's the thing. I mean, if she looks like a walking filter, it might be a compliment because she actually looks good in person if she's a walking filter. She looks good. There is definitely a glow up for Jessel this season. And I think it wasn't just Botox and filler. And I don't think it's anything necessarily just cosmetic. I think it was the hair. I didn't even realize the teeth. I think it was also her fashion. So for me, it was mostly her fashion. I immediately noticed her fashion up, and maybe it wasn't necessarily she wasn't always fashionable. Remember, she had just given birth. She was just losing some weight. So look, she was probably like in that in between, and she was filming the show. I just didn't know what Brynn was insinuating, though. What was Brynn insinuating? Oh, you did a little bit more than Botox, and then you ran out and got an Uber. I'm still trying to understand, what was she alluding to? That she didn't pay for the Uber? And Jessel was like, well, we did an Instagram post, and it's weird. Brynn is a dangerous person, dangerous for Bravo and NBC Universal, dangerous for these women to even be friends with. I would never be Brynn's friend. Real life or on a reality show. Sidebar, I don't know if we talked about this here. I know I told you it sparked my memory about what happened with the other woman that was supposed to be a part of this cast last season, and she abruptly left because of a situation with Brynn, accusing her husband of being racist and saying something. She did an interview recently and says that she feels vindicated. Meaning that that's not exactly what her husband said, that Brynn made that up. Allegedly. Anyways, I do want to kind of go in a little bit of order. I jumped to the Jessel stuff, but I did want to talk about I'm not talking about everything in this reunion. We're not giving Rhony their own, recap or anything like that anymore. We're addressing some of the hot points that came out in this reunion. Okay. So and speaking of Brynn's lies, they talk about Ubergate. You might have forgotten about that, where she was alluding that Jenna Lyons, or she alluded that Aaron was alluding that Jenna Lyons might be broke because she never paid her back for an Uber after her car broke down. So they revisit that. They also revisit the whole Basic B conversation that, Brynn ran back to Jessel and says, she called you, Jenna Lyons, she agrees that you're a Basic B. So when they watch it back, they were like, we all saw it in the moment that literally that is not what Jenna said. But that is one or two of the many lies of what Brynn has said over this season alone. God only knows the many lies she said last season. Okay. Mr. Mellon Mash says the reunion is better than the whole season. But the reunions usually are better than the season, even if you had a stellar season, but it sums up what happened during the season. I don't think I would, no, I know I would not go back and watch last season or this season of Real Housewives of New York. And Real Housewives of New York is one of the cities that I've actually gone back and watched from the beginning over again. I won't, if I do go back and watch Rhony ever again, I will be skipping probably season 13, 14, and 15. Because season 13 wasn't that great either, if we're going to be honest. And we saw the ratings slipping then. And that season 13, didn't have reunion. Foxy says that she lies 99% of the time. She's scary. She's scary. Jason says that Brynn is dangerous. And we're not saying that lightly. I think people, and I'm sure Bravo and NBC probably hear us say that when we say something's dark. You said that about... No, it really is. Brynn is really dangerous. She is a liability. Anyways, so they talk about that. Brynn denies adding sauce to her. This is where Brynn frustrated me in the reunion because she showed no accountability, no remorse for some of the things that she said and was caught. Literally, with the basic beat, you were caught lying on camera. And she's like, I don't add more sauce. Like, when someone tells me something, I just run back and I tell the other person. You lied. And you lied about certain things that really could have hurt people. Hurt people's reputation, hurt people's marriages, hurt people's children. And you continue. You came into this reunion with no accountability. Uba says when she spoke with Andy, she's like, Brynn has been delusional. She's going to come in here delusional. And she was right. She was 100% right. She came in here and was 100% delusional. And not taking any accountability. And adding more sauce. Remember who else added more sauce to a situation? Gizelle. But honestly, I think Brynn is worse than Gizelle. In a lot of ways. Anyways. Okay. Where is it? What else they talk? Oh, at one particular point, when Brynn and Sai are revisiting their issues, Brynn says to Sai, she says that Sai is projecting. Okay? And then Sai says, what is your job? What exactly is your job? And now I'm really looking at Brynn with like Tommy. I think we need to call Brynn Tommy. What is your job? Sai asked her directly, what is your job? And she says to Sai, she's like, I do your job. I do your job. Influencing? You barely do that, girl. You barely do that. So she says that she does Sai's job. And then when they went to commercial and they came back, Brynn, because Andy Cohen's like, you have to keep to 2 Jenna lines. You have to keep the Rhobh so that we can use it at BravoCon. She's like, oh my God, I was going to return it. It's like $1,500 Rhobh. First of all, Rhobs are in general are expensive. $1,500 for a Balenciaga Rhobh. I didn't know we were still wearing Balenciaga. Look, people have such short-term memories about certain things. I'm like, y'all didn't even let a year go by before people started wearing Balenciaga again, all over themselves. So she's like, I was going to return it. It's like $1,500. Only for Brynn to be like, my dress is $7,000 and I bought it, Andy. I bought it. And Andy's very good about not calling people out on their BS in the moment because it's not worth it for him. These are his employees. People he has to work with. However, Brynn, word on the street, you did not buy that dress because you can't allegedly afford to buy that dress. You want to sit here and act as if you are this woman with money and about town and all this stuff. Word on the street, you are not. Not a word on the street. Your own cast members have said it. I don't believe that Brynn actually bought that $7,000 dress at all. That's probably her rent money. You better go pay that rent. Look, you better go pay that. The lie. Look.
Shut up. That is so stupid.
Seriously. But you notice how she had to say that. She had to point out to Andy Cohen, who's a millionaire, how many times over. And Andy, my dress cost $7,000 and I bought it. Mm-hmm. I've had a housewife DM me because I've talked about them on the show. I'll tell you at the New York City show. DM me because I've said on here a lot of these housewives end up borrowing stuff and returning them. I had a housewife tell me, like, I keep all of my stuff. You can check my closet. I'm like, girl, you didn't buy that stuff. Stop playing. Like, I don't care what y'all say. There's only a handful of you buying the stuff and keeping it. That's okay. Especially if you're going to wear it once. I don't think there's a problem with you borrowing it and returning it. I borrowed my suit for those that came to the DC show. I had a stylist pull out that suit. Why am I going to keep that? That's a cute suit. But if I'm not going to wear it again, why am I keeping it? Take it back. Take it back. Unless it's like a suit that you can see yourself wearing again, like a navy blue suit or a black suit or a tux or something like that. Exactly. The end says nothing wrong with borrowing. There's nothing. So this is not about that, but her trying to pretend like, oh my God, I paid $7,000 and yeah, I'm keeping it. I bought it. I bought it, auntie. Okay, girl. Whatever. Moving on. So then they talk about Brynn's SA situation. All right. And I have to give it to the cast. They all, including Andy, were very sensitive in handling this conversation. Do we know that it seems as if this SA incident that happened with Brynn happened recently? So she's literally in the middle of still dealing with this. So she talks about that. And shout out to Uba. Because let me tell you something. I don't know, because I've never been in this situation, if someone did what Brynn did to Uba, if I could still in that moment show so much empathy for Brynn. I would feel for her on the low, but in that moment, I'd probably be stone-faced. But no, I think Uba knows more in regards to maybe who it is, but she gave her so much empathy in that moment, despite Brynn trying to throw her under the bus. So she talks about that. Then they have a lot of conversation on that. Andy asked her a lot of questions in regards to it. You know, why didn't she press charges? You know, and she talked about why she decided not to press charges. And look, there are a lot of people very much like what happened to Brynn and what Brynn has gone through that did not report it. And years later felt as if, you know, this is, you know, the right time to talk about it. So I'm not going to hold that against Brynn. Okay. However, the group reacts to, you know, the reason why, you know, their own stuff that they've gone through in regards to that. Hold on. I see we had a couple of super chats. Amber, thank you so much for the super chat. Amber says, hi, Kempire. Mary's spouse isn't on the show. I'm okay with Jenna's so not being on too. We must have the Todd father. Here's the thing though. Mary is a great reality TV personality. We talked about that before. We literally talked about that last week, that the reason why we're okay with Mary, again, this goes with not having a storyline. If you don't, I'm okay with you not having a storyline if you actually have a good personality and you're entertaining. Jenna Lyons isn't. She's not that entertaining. I think she's great in her own right and what she's done for the fashion world. But other than that, she's not that entertaining. So her not bringing a relationship to the show is just another nail in the coffin of why she shouldn't be on the show. All right. Guys, if you haven't already, we have almost 900 of you watching here on YouTube. Don't forget to like the video. It's easy and it's free. Bianca, thank you so much for the super chat. Bianca says, Brynn is begging for a defamation lawsuit that can't be flirted away. Also, what's up with her face in the thumbnail? It's giving grandma realness. For those that think that I did something to that thumbnail, I did not. That literally, we talked about this. That literally is a photo from Bravo TV. I did no editing to that. You know, I love to have a good edit, but I didn't do any editing to that. Okay. All right. But the darkness of her might be coming out. Just saying. Anyways, moving on. So they talk about her FA situation. The group reacts to that. Andy asks a few different questions in regards to, do you see this person? And she says, you know, she sees him. She still sees him. And this was a person that was courting her. I had a lot of interesting thoughts about this. on not necessarily just the potential, because I'm wondering about the timeline. When did this happen? Who could it possibly be? Is it someone that we all might know? Is it someone that she's, because she still sees this person? So I'm like, and that happens with a lot of people that have been through SA. They end up still seeing that person. Maybe they worked with that person or something like that. Okay. So they talk about that, that she sees him all the time. Then Andy gets a quick update from Uba in regards to her relationship with Oliver. She is still with Oliver, very happy with Oliver. They are considering having children, but apparently she wants to go through with having her fibroid surgery and she needs recovery time before trying to have a kid. Okay. Uba looks amazing. For me, the look that she was giving superhero. She looks beautiful. I mean, they all look great. They all look fantastic. Honestly, the worst dress for me would be Jenna. I think the picture of Jenna in her reunion outfit was far better than what we're seeing literally on the stage. Because we also have, once she takes the sunglasses off, the makeup is not that great. She probably would have been better off wearing maybe some sort of like chic glasses. So for me, it does look like she rolled out of her hotel room and decided to come here and film a reunion. Okay. Mancy says that Marlo's blue muumuu was better. I knew it reminded me of something. Okay. Jess says, were charges never charged? No. Andy did ask her about that, and she kind of, she really didn't get to detail, which is fine, in regards to why she didn't go through with that process, and when you're in that particular situation, you just want to wash that off of you. And we've heard that from so many other victims and things like that. Look, she answered as much as she could answer in that moment. Okay? All right. Moving along. So she talks about that. Here's the thing with Brynn. Brynn talks about Gideon. As you know, part of Brynn's storyline, and I think it was just a storyline, I don't believe that Brynn was really trying to have a kid with Gideon. Because Gideon doesn't have to do much. You don't need to go in and do some special appointment. Gideon needs to just go somewhere, do what he needs to do in a cup, and there you go. So I'm watching her talk about this, and she's like, we were both in London, we were supposed to do this, and blah, blah, blah. It doesn't take all of that. And you saw what Aaron says. All he needs to do is just da-da-da-da. I'm not even going into detail what Aaron says. Because that's all the man needs to do. It's not this big to-do for a man that's going to be your sperm donor. So I don't believe that Brynn, very much like her apartment, her storyline, and all the pre-producing that she was doing this season, all of that was smoke and mirrors. I don't believe that Brynn and Gideon, especially because this was a man she was engaged to, she's still friends with. And I think the only reason why we've seen Gideon, even though they're no longer in a relationship, is because she needed some sort of man as a part of her storyline last season and this season. I don't believe that that's real. Okay. Then, of course, the question, we talked about this already in regards to Jessel and her glow up. They talk about that. But Jessel confronts Brynn for the comments that she made to Sai and Aaron about the love of her life. And shout out to Jessel, because Jessel really in that moment showed what I wanted to see from Jessel during the season. I hate that it comes to the reunion where we see the side of Jessel. No, we need to see the side of Jessel during the season. However, she didn't know about it until watching the show. That Brynn alluded that Pravit wasn't the love of her life, that the love of her life got away. And we talked about this. We were like, that is really dangerous to say anything like that when someone is married to someone else. If she was divorced, it'd be another thing. But she's still married to this man. They're watching the show together, and she had to explain this to Pravit. And does Pravit believe her when this is being shared? He wasn't there when you were having this conversation. And then Brynn at the reunion is still not showing any accountability and is trying to make excuses for it. She's like, oh yeah, I mixed that up. You mixed something, like, first of all, you shouldn't even brought that to camera, even if it was true, because that's someone's marriage with children. Tell your story. Tell your dirt. Don't tell other people's dirt on the show that could affect their marriage. So Jessel gets her together, and then shout out to Jenna for actually finally holding Brynn accountable. And she's like, don't try and explain this. The spin is really dark. Teresa says Jessel was pissed. Wouldn't you be? Me, as a Taurus who's very territorial, who's very like, if you're my person, you're my person. You're not going to go against my people. I'm very loyal. I don't play that about my people. It would have been a lot worse for Brynn if it was me. Just saying. She would have got the scolding of her life. Like, you're not going to sit here. And first of all, it wasn't true. That's the other part. Because even Jenna was just like, I didn't even know that it wasn't true. And Jessa was like, yeah, it was not true. She said, the love of my life is my husband. And the question that they really had the conversation about was about hookups. So Brynn putting sauce on a situation again. Again, for those that may have missed it, we reported to you guys that Bravo and Shed Media are doing casting. Remember, Shed Media is the same people that produce Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. And remember, when we were worried about this new season of Salt Lake City, they came through with the casting. So I have hopes. Don't you? Look. But they have to make a major change. I mean, look, I don't necessarily think that we have to get rid of Jenna. She's New York. She's there, whatever. But you got to get rid of Brynn. You got to downgrade Uba or get rid of Uba. Who else is on this cast that needs to get rid of? Look, I'm on the fence with Aaron. I'm on the fence with Aaron because I don't believe that they're going to do a major cast shakeup. It's hard to do a major cast shakeup with this group, with any show, to be honest with you. And, you know, to be able to stay on schedule to come back in time. You saw how long it took them to get this cast of folks together. Sai, I'm okay with. I just need Sai to lean into just being who she is. This season, she was lackluster for me. Anyways, yes, Teresa, we spoke about this yesterday in regards to Karen's sentencing. Be sure to check out our Tuesday takeover if you missed it. We did talk about, because Karen is still in rehab, and she just got out yesterday. From rehab, and she fired her original attorneys. So, yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Be sure to check that out, guys. We even listened to the Justin Baldoni voice message. Who listened to that again? I did a separate video clip of that. So, for those that just want to hear that portion of Tuesday Takeover, you can watch that here on the YouTube channel. And for those that are watching us on TikTok or Twitch or Twitter, head on over to our YouTube channel to watch it there. Blue Hoodie says, every housewives needs someone annoying, i.e. Aaron. No, you know, it's not that I mean, Aaron is annoying, don't get me wrong. But Aaron, for me, is also quintessential New York. And there have been moments that I don't think Aaron gets credit for that she does know what she needs to do. I just need Aaron to stop with the pre-production. Just be yourself, Aaron. I want to see Aaron at home with her family. I want to see Aaron working. We got some of that last season. This season, we didn't see any of that stuff. Shanice says that Brynn has to go. Like, for me, I feel like her pink card, her pink slip is already signed, in my opinion. Don't be surprised if you see her crashing out, though, about it. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, guys. If you're just joining us, this is our weekly recap of the Real Housewives of New York City and Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. How would you rate this week's episode? Wait, first of all, how would you rate this week's episode of Real Housewives of New York City Reunion from 1 to 10? Live chat, let me know. And for the almost 1,000 of you here, don't forget to like the video. If you're watching on TikTok, keep tapping your screens, TikTok. Let's get to 5,000 likes. Shout out to those of you watching on Twitch and Twitter. And don't forget, guys, the Kempire After Dark live experience is returning to New York City on Friday, February 21st at the Green Room 42. Get your tickets today. There is a live stream option exclusively for this show. Okay, more information on that will be available in the description. All right, and don't forget, there is a streaming option, I believe, for the Crappy Awards for our friends over at Watch What Crappens. I'll be joining them, presenting an award. Okay, I'll be presenting an award at the Crappy Awards this weekend here in New York City at the Town Hall. Okay. All right, I'm seeing 6s, I'm seeing 7s, I'm seeing 8s, a 7.5. I'll see a lot of 8s. Okay, not bad. I mean, it's a reunion. The reunion was far better than the entire season. The entire season was hard to watch. Hard to watch. Okay. All right. Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Let's start. Kyle at home. Kyle is still, dealing with her kids not being home. She's used to she had a lot of kids. She had a lot of people in her house. So I feel like this is real, that she's like, I find myself at home alone a lot. And she's like, I want to come. I want to come. I want to hang out. I can see she has a big home. I can imagine. Like, you have this big home that you're used to with a lot of girls running around and dogs running around. But even when it's just her and the dogs aren't running around because there's no one else running around besides Kyle. Aww, look, wait.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
No. Sorry, Kyle. Okay. So she FaceTimes with Erica. Erica, as you know, was scolded by Dorit last week because she feels as if Erica did not have her back. So now in this FaceTime, Erica's just like, no one needs to be involved in this anymore. You guys need to have your conversation. No one needs to be involved. Erica's like, I am out. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I don't want to be involved. I don't want to have to feel like I have to pick a side. Fine. Has anyone seen Erica in Chicago? I've seen Chicago so many times, so I'm not going to go see it. And this is what they do. This is how they get people to come to see Chicago. I've seen it so many times. I'm not going to. First of all, Erica Jane is not a pull for me to go see it. Neither was Ariana. Brandy, if she goes back, I'll see it. Brandy did a fantastic job in Chicago. But yeah, have you guys seen it? I heard they extended her stay there. Good for her. I heard she's actually not bad in it. So Kyle says she doesn't want to talk about this text message and the issues with Dorit anymore. Neither do we. I'm so glad that maybe after this week's episode, we won't be talking about any issue between Dorit and Kyle. All right. So, okay, Dorit and Bose. So Dorit and Bose and their friendship. Hey, look, I told you, I've explained, I'm not going to do it again this week, what I think about this friendship. What I have to say is Bose is so stunning. Especially in this, like, she's stunning all the time. But in this moment with the hair, and she's sitting down with Dorit, and I'm just like, I was like, can we just have a moment just to stare at Bozoma St. John? Stunning. She's gorgeous. Okay. So they sit down. So Bose is like, you start. And she's like, no, you start. And it's like, no. It seems like there's something going on with you. Dorit can't even help but to be like, well, I feel like the walls are closing in on me and I just can't catch her. Like, she didn't even give Bozoma a second to maybe change her mind about, okay, I'll start. She was sort of like, well, yeah, the walls are closing in on me. Oh, woo to me, woo.
Woo.
So she's like, all right, whatever, Dorit. But look, we've said this before in regards to their friendship. Bozoma says that she has 100 and something best friends. There's nothing that it's nothing for her to add a new best friend to her already long list of best friends. Okay. So they have this conversation about her issues with Kyle. And Dorit says that, Bose has become like her ride or die, and she gives her great advice. Bose brings up Kyle denying that she knew anything about Dorit and PK's relationship. So they flash back to when Dorit talked about the issues that they were having. But here's the thing, not me defending Kyle, and I hate this for us.
Whoa.
I hate this for us, okay? Because I don't want to defend Kyle, but we have to remember at the reunion, Dorito told us that everything was good. Right? So Kyle in her head's probably thinking things are in a better place. Come on. We got to call a thing. This is why I say when you're team you and you're not team anyone on this cast, you're able to see everyone's side no matter if you like them or not. I don't know Kyle to like her or not. What I see of Kyle on the show, I don't like. Just let me emphasize that, because some people take it so personal. You know what I mean? So we don't know these people. So I don't know if I like them or not until I have an interaction with them. When you have an interaction with someone, then you can be like, oh, I don't like them. Oh, I like them. Remember when I met Drew Sidora at BravoCon? I was like, she gets it. She's seen my stuff. She's seen me talk about her, but she's still just sort of like, I get it. You got a job to do. I got a job to do. Lovely. I was like, get it. She gets it. Okay. Anyways, so Dorit said at the reunion that everything with PK had gotten better. So why would Kyle think that there were still issues? Marriages go through things, and then things are over. So, but now, Bose doesn't know that, though. Bose is not watching this show like that. Bose is not really watching the show like that. So she doesn't know that element. So Bose is thinking, well, Kyle's a damn liar.
The lie.
And look, in Bose's defense, she's coming in not knowing these details, but a lot of people are saying, Bose, that you should probably play a more middle ground position. It doesn't feel like you're playing a middle ground position. Okay? So they talk about that. Dorit says that, see, this is where we learn. I thought it was in the after show, but then when I rewatched the episode, Dorit reveals that it was the sponsor that suggested that they take time apart. And they talk about this during the reunion. I'm not the reunion, during the after show. And Bose had a big reaction. She's like, the sponsor, who's also PK's friend, suggested that y'all separate. She's like, that he's crossing lines. Here's the thing. You know I don't believe this whole situation with Dorit and PK. For those that didn't know, I don't believe it. And I keep getting evidence every single week on why I don't believe it. And for me, the fact that she says that the sponsor, also PK's friend, is the one that suggested the separation. Mind you, the friend is no longer the sponsor, according to the after show. I was like, see, this is every single week shaping up to be, oh, okay, Dorit. I also don't believe that Jagger told her anything about the divorce. I think she made that up too. But we'll get there. So she claims that PK's sponsor suggested that they separate. And Bose is like, exactly. Emma says Bose's favorite line. Oh, hell no. Yeah, because if we put ourselves in Bose's place that don't know anything about any of these people, I understand her reactions. Angelique says, I don't know, Kempire. I'm starting to believe it. Yeah, because every single week they're force feeding this to you. I still don't believe it. And I'm seeing every week reasons not to believe it. Now it was PK's sponsor that encouraged him to get a separation, so he listened. We're supposed to believe that PK listened to his sponsor, who's also his friend, and that was the decision, that he helped him make that decision. Okay, girl. The Girls Club says, I think Dorit made that up too. Me too. And I think that PK's willing to play along with this narrative. I think PK's willing to look like the bad guy in order to keep her position on the show. Okay. Rebecca says, why isn't it possible for Bose and Dorit to be forming a genuine friendship if Garcelle can be close to Sutton? We talked about this last week, Rebecca. Were you not here? We were like, there are people that still don't believe that Sutton and Garcelle have a real friendship. We also did not expect these two to form a real friendship. But we see this friendship developing. I'm not saying that Bose and Dorit can't form a real friendship. It feels premature, though. It didn't feel that way with Sutton and Garcelle. Immediately, they were best friends. They ended up going out and they ended up hanging out. And they were like, It wasn't overnight, that friendship. This feels overnight. This feels a little forced. Just saying. Okay. Anyways, speaking of Garcelle and Sutton, they have a FaceTime, and apparently Kyle has invited Garcelle and Sutton and Erica out to lunch. And Garcelle's confused because she's like, we're going to my house. Why do we need to have any sort of Like, we're going to see each other. So what are we doing? So Sutton and Garcelle are like, oh, Kyle is trying to rally the troops. Okay, and then we even have Sutton impersonating Erica, and what Erica's response will be to this whole situation. But this is what I appreciate about Garcelle and Sutton that people don't appreciate, is how real they are. Because one minute you think that they're aligning themselves with Kyle, and then no, they're like, no, Kyle, like that's ridiculous. That sounds ridiculous. This is what I appreciate about them. They're asking the questions that we want to hear. They're keeping people accountable. And I know people want to say they don't have a storyline. They don't need a storyline because they're not boring. Okay? Unlike some of these other people on this show. They don't need a storyline. But they have a storyline. What's your storyline in life? I'd like to know. My storyline, boring. I'm working. I ain't got nothing crazy going on in my life. Thankfully. Okay? But I agree with them. And this is what Kyle has done in years past. And I love the fact that on FaceTime, on camera, both Garcelle and Sutton, who are in a good place with Kyle at this moment, are calling it out. Why does she want us to meet? Before we're supposed to see each other. And she's trying to rally the troops so she has support. And why didn't she invite Dorit? Or why didn't she invite Bose? You were screaming at Bose's house and you stormed out of Bose's house. You should be calling her to apologize. But Kyle, during this lunch, wants to make it seem as if she wants to apologize to the group. The person that you really need to apologize, besides Dorit, the person you should be apologizing to is Bose. Just saying. Hey, Miss Esquire, thank you for being a member. Shout out to all our members in the chat, guys. Become a member today at TheKempire.com/join. Miss Esquire says that you join a friend group. Two of the longest friends are in conflict, and you decide to align with one of those two really closely. It is believable, but it's not how most people join groups. In reference to Bose and Dorit's friendship. Which is fine. Look, who knows? A year from now, we might be like, look, we love their friendship. I can't imagine that. Like, I love Bose, but I don't love Dorit. If Dorit gave us a semblance of realness, then I think I would probably like Dorit. She doesn't give us a sense of realness on this show. Which is crazy because her brands that she wears are real. But she's as surface as a Lisa Barlow. But here's the difference between Lisa Barlow and a Dorit. Lisa Barlow is actually, like, because of her surface personality, is actually funny. Oh, hold on a second. Give me shelter says, Kempire, we also can't trust people who always bring up Bose in order to make a case against Garcelle, as if we were born yesterday and don't know what that is. Oh, Loic. Look.
Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, means everything.
Woo! Wow. We have 1111 people, 1,111 people here in the chat. Hey, y'all. Don't forget to like the video. Let's get to 500 likes. I will take a couple of calls, guys, but I can't stay long. I have a meeting. You know, it's tax time. I have meetings right now, so I can't not be here. I have a 1 o'clock call, so we gotta run through this. So let me move on. Okay. So we Kyle, Garcelle, and Sutton and Erica meet up for lunch. Garcelle arrives there first, and Garcelle. I got questions about the fashion. I'm so glad Garcelle has changed back to the black hair. The red hair looked great on her, but it seemed as if she was not taking care of the red hair, at least not in this scene. I was like, Garcelle, I'm rooting for you, but you just ain't feeling us, okay? Anyways, so Garcelle's the first one to arrive, and Garcelle, I have to say, Garcelle has had Dorit's back on when it comes to the appropriateness of this text message, and she still stands by that, even on Watch What Happens Live, which she looked great, okay? Garcelle says she doesn't feel like sharing the text information with Bose was a violation because, Kyle, you shared this information on camera in front of other people in this group, okay? Kyle denies talking any sort of, like, crap about Dorit to PK. She says, you know, the biggest issue for her is that people are questioning her character, which I understand. I definitely understand, because I don't believe that Kyle has done or said anything inappropriate to PK. However, the principle of it all, or the optics of it all, doesn't look right. Okay? And the more you protest about it, the more this has become an issue, the more it looks suspect. All right. So Kyle says that she's triggered by people questioning her character. Sutton arrives. Sutton sits down. Erica arrived. Erica looks great. Erica arrives, and Sutton sits down, arrives after her and sits down. And it's like, why are we here? That's just another version of her saying, name them. She's just like, so she sits down. She's like, okay, so why are we here? Kyle is like, and then Garcelle's like, oh my God. Garcelle's just like, why are we here? I do declare. Why are we here? Which I think is a fair question. Okay. So Sutton asked that question. So Kyle says, well, I wanted to apologize. And she says, so what are you apologizing for? She doesn't even sound like this. So what are you apologizing for? Look, would that annoy me? I already tell you she's a Virgo and the questions. So I get why people are like, Sutton just does too much. Sutton is annoying. However, did we enjoy as people watching the show? Kyle get dragged so effortlessly by Sutton. Why are we here? I'm apologizing. What are you apologizing for? Look, and Erica, you enjoyed it. Because Erica's just like, oh gosh, son, you talk about sisterhood, but you do all of this. Erica, you enjoyed it too. On some level, you enjoy it. Okay? Because it's just like, because we're all wondering, why are we here? We're about to meet up at Garcelle's house. Why are we here now? And Kyle talks in so many different circles. We're like, did we get to the bottom of why she was apologizing? Again, the people that you really should be apologizing to are not even here. So this is why people call you manipulative. So Sutton's just like, I am not falling for it. Name them. What are you apologizing for? What are you apologizing for? Oh my goodness. So Kyle's just like, I just don't understand why you're asking me all these questions. I told you what I'm apologizing for. Okay. But here's the thing. In Sutton's confessional, she says, Erica might be a minion, but Sutton and Garcelle are not. Oh!
Fuck your flowers.
Oh, that too. That sent me. The confessional where she says, Erica might be a minion. And I don't think Erica's scared of Kyle, but I do think she's a minion. She's part of the Fox Force flunkies. She says, Erica might be a minion, but Sutton and Garcelle are not. Oh, oh Kyle.
Whoa, whoa,
whoa. All right. Let's fast forward, okay? So everyone meets at Kyle's house in order to drive over to Garcelle's, because Garcelle's hosting a beach day. She has her beach house that I've learned it's not in Malibu, it's another part of town, but it's a beach house. We've seen the beach house, beautiful, okay? So she's going to host the women there. So she's preparing and getting ready, okay? So the women meet at Kyle's. So Bose, very much like us, is surprised that when Kyle sees her, she's like, there is no apology of any sort offered. And she's like, okay, yeah, because you should have apologized for storming out, cursing, being belligerent at Bose's home. And you didn't offer any sort of apology. You didn't invite her to any sort of lunch to apologize to her. Dorit shows up. Dorit, and I don't know about any of you. I know I'm probably here alone that doesn't believe this situation with Dorit and her storyline this season. So I will stand alone because I don't care. Okay? It's in Oxnard. Thank you, Angelique. That's where Garcelle's home is. Dorit comes in, everyone's gathering, everyone's, getting ready to go. I don't know if any of you guys noticed. It felt awkward to me. All of a sudden, they're getting ready, they're gathering, and they're going to this event. But Dorit had to have a moment. And the reason why I point this out is because this season, I feel as if we've seen, and I've pointed this out during recaps, Dorit comes into these scenes and does this. Like she has to talk about what's going on with her because she wants to be relevant. She wants this to be her storyline. She's probably allegedly been told by production, you need to bring it. I believe that Dorit's job has been in trouble, in jeopardy for season after season. So I feel like there are multiple times during the season that Dorit comes into a scene and she's gotta say something. She's gotta have a moment. And that's what this felt like to me. She's like, guys, so I was with Jagger, and Jagger says that he had a question, and Bose is having the reaction a real friend would have, like, oh no, what did he say? What did he ask? It's like, Mommy, are you in Daddy PK? Because Daddy PK's never home. Daddy PK divorced. And apparently he saw something on social media. Look, Jagger is older, and even if he wasn't older, kids are very young on their devices. So apparently he saw the Instagram post. He saw the Instagram post that they posted about their separation. I don't believe that Jagger said this. I don't believe that at all. I've told you multiple times when she said that, she hasn't heard from PK in 2 weeks. And I was like, you have 2 young kids with him. But also, PK hasn't really been around a lot. He's been in London a lot. And word on the street, when he's in LA, he wasn't with you anyway, a lot. Allegedly. So they're used to him not being around a lot. Tanya says, Daddy, PK. So she's talking, and we have to remember, multiple people, including Crystal Kung Minkoff, has said that, no, Dorit really is long-winded. We're watching an edited show. So I'm thinking, look, I'm not defending Sutton. Sutton is a Virgo. Sutton, I told you how Virgos can irk people's nerves and say things out of turn, okay? So I'm not surprised that Sutton's like, speaking of best friends, we need to go. Our best friend is waiting on us. She wants this day to be positive. And she is a straight up Virgo. I wouldn't be surprised if Sutton is like a Blake Lively Virgo. It's Esquire, right? Virgo moon, Virgo sun, Virgo. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay. However, Sutton interrupts the conversation, which is weird. And even Erica was just like, this is the problem with Sutton. Like her timing is off. Kyle says the same thing. And Dorit's just like, I'm trying to tell my story. She's trying to have her scene. And again, we're watching an edited scene. For all we know, Dorit could have been going on for a long time. And that could have been part of the reason why Sutton was sort of like, we've got to go. Okay? And then LA traffic alone. All right? But it seems awkward, and of all people, and again, we have to remember, this is Sutton, and this is a real friend. It's Sutton trying to defend Garcelle. She's like, we're going to be late. Garcelle is waiting on us. And again, we don't know how long this scene that Dorit wanted to create was going on. Just saying. Allie says, how long was that story? It felt short to us. So the viewers are going to watch it and be like, Sutton is so rude. Okay? I mean, she probably is rude, but we don't know how long that conversation is. Multiple sources have said that Dorito is long-winded. Okay? Let me say thank you. We had a few super chats. Miss Esquire, thank you so much for all the super chat. Miss Esquire sent a lot of super chats. Miss Esquire, thank you so much for the super chat. And yes, you got a shimmy for it. Miss Esquire says, we are not questioning your character, Kyle. We are denying its very existence. Wow.
Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, means everything.
Miss Esquire says, you will center yourself in every conflict where a friend is hurt by your actions. Goodbye, Kyle. And they show multiple times where Kyle is the one, and this is what Sutton doesn't like about Kyle, is that she's always telling people, you got to tell the truth. You got to hold yourself accountable. And they show those times that Kyle has said this, yet she's not doing that. So production is not on her side. Kyle might need a season off. Francine, thank you so much for the super chat. Francine, watching from, this is what, the UAE? Francine says, man, Dorit just sucks. That energy out of every scene. I am Sutton and Sutton is me. Move along. Wait, let me play the clip. Hold on.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Francine's there. Okay, thanks, Francine. Miss Esquire, thank you so much for another super 20. Let me shimmy for the dollars. Miss Esquire says, Kempire, shimmy for the Virgos, please. We have feelings. They are deep down in the Earth's core. See, that's the difference between Miss Esquire and some of you Virgos. She's self-aware, okay? But they exist. They are deep down in the Earth's core, but they exist. Laughing out loud. I do believe that Virgos have feelings. I just feel like they don't care about anyone else's feelings when they're sharing theirs. They don't. They're very blunt. I appreciate that in a lot of ways, but sometimes I'm like, really? Right now? So I do feel like Sutton is a Virgo. Julie, thank you so much for the super chat. Julie says, kids know the internet better than half the adults. Yeah, but I don't believe Jagger said that. I don't believe that at all, in my humble opinion. Okay? Jen says, factual. We have feelings. I do believe y'all have feelings. You're earth signs. Okay? Jazzy says, isn't Giselle a Virgo too? Yep. Nancy says, Bronwyn's a Virgo, right? Yep. All right. So the women get into the cars and they head on over to Garcelle's home, Garcelle's beach house. So they all come in and react to it. Oh, I forgot to talk about Jennifer Tilly. Jennifer Tilly is offering us what Kathy Hilton usually offers us, and we don't get a lot of Kathy so far this season. But I'm loving Jennifer Tilly. And I did see that Bob, from The Traitors and The Biggest Loser on Watch What Happens Live says he's like, he's not sure how he's feeling about Jennifer Tilly. I think because Bob probably doesn't watch the after show, and they don't really highlight Jennifer Tilly. They don't highlight a lot of her on the show, but on the after show, you get to really know a lot more about her. So I really like her. And I like the little trifecta friendship that we're getting between Tilly, Sutton, and Garcelle. I like that. So she arrives with a nice, beautiful gift, a Dolce. I didn't even know they even made these things. Dolce & Gabbana toaster, $700. Okay? And it actually matched. It matched the style of the home, but also it matched Garcelle's outfit. Okay. All right. So Garcelle offers the women different outfits to wear in regards to for the beach situation. So she gives it to everyone. Dorit is like, oh my God, I spent so much time curating this outfit. And look. In all respect, I do give Dorit a lot of credit for her fashion and things like that. However, the look she had on this day, it took you how long to curate this look? I was like, girl, it's not that deep. Put on the pajamas and let's go. Okay? But she's like, I'm going to play along. Mm-hmm. You will. So, Bose brings up Dorit revealing that Jagger asked about the divorce. She brought that up to Garcelle. So Garcelle weighs in regards to what her son said to her. She's like, when I'm with you, I miss Dad. When I'm with Dad, I miss you. So I have to give Garcelle credit, even though she might not like Dorit. She still gives Dorit grace and empathizes with Dorit. But they're in a better place. Remember last week, Dorit apologized to Garcelle when she was trying to get her massage? And then she came and interrupted it. Okay. Velda says, I thought it was a purse. It was a toaster. Right? Am I mistaken? No, it was a toaster, right? Okay. Moving along. So Kyle and Dorit have a conversation. And Dorit says that she feels as if Kyle was making PK feel comfortable, and that that she wouldn't repeat anything that he would say to her. But she would hope that if PK did repeat something to Kyle, that she would be a, quote, girl's girl. She said that in her confessional. She's like, Kyle's always talking about being a girl's girl. Like, this is the moment for you to be a girl's girl. I don't like that term girl's girl because I feel like everyone that uses that term girl's girl usually are not girl's girls. I actually think that it is a toxic term because girls don't need to say it. Girls actually show it. And I've never viewed Dorit as a girl's girl. I've never been around Dorit to tell you for a fact or not. But based on what we've seen on the show, an edited show, I never got girl's girl from Dorit, in my opinion. But I could be wrong. Okay. Anyway, so they sit down, they have their conversation, and it seems as if Kyle just wants to move on. Like, she's ready to be like, and scene. Okay? I think she's ready. Wait, which one is this? Oh, wait, there it is.
And scene.
Okay? So, they end up having a good conversation. I don't know about you. I felt ready for them to just get over this. I felt, yes, can we move on? I don't want to see this argument over and over again because, again, I don't feel like Kyle texting PK was anything nefarious. I get why Dorit might not like it. I get why other people might be like, that might be inappropriate or might be seen as inappropriate or whatever. But I don't think anything inappropriate was happening between Kyle and PK. Ooh, Adam says that Dorit is not a girl's girl after what she did to Lisa Vanderpump. None of the season 9 cast is. Points are being made. Okay. Points have been made. Your agent, Keela, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. She says that the way that Sutton looked upset when Kyle and Dorit came back. Sutton is waiting on Kyle's downfall. Sutton said, it's my time to shine. I mean, look, you were right. But the group seemed like, okay, so Kyle and Dorit come back. They seem to be in a good place, okay? Delon, thank you so much for the super chat. Delon says, Bob annoyed me on Watch What Happens Live, just like on Traitors. Really? He didn't annoy me on Traitors. He wasn't my favorite. We're not talking about Bob the drag queen. We're talking about Bob from The Biggest Loser. He didn't bother me. Why is Bob the drag queen not on Watch What Happens Live? That's going to be a time. That's going to be fun. Cece, thank you so much for the super chat. Cece says, as a Virgo, having a conversation with someone like Dorit is very irritating. Understood. Like, just get to the point. I understand Sutton interrupting, and I would have too. Speaking as a Virgo, yeah. I probably would have kept it in. Just like, this girl is still talking. But okay. Guys, keep liking the video. It's easy and it's free. I thought I might have time to take some callers today, but I won't. So we'll talk more about this tomorrow on our Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap as well. But let me continue. So they end up playing a game. And normally a lot of these Housewives games are ridiculous and just the same thing. But their conversation ended up being spicy and fun. And look, Salt Lake City has upped the ante when it comes to Housewives games, because that Housewives games on the finale was crazy. Okay. But so they end up playing a game after Kyle and Dorit have their conversation. The group comes back and they end up playing a game. And Garcelle asks the question, what length would you go for $1 million? And Erica's just like, $1 million doesn't go very far anymore nowadays. And I said to myself, well, she probably is making over $1 million being on this show. So I get that. You're in a different tax bracket. So she's like, yeah, that it's got to be more. I'm like, okay. Erica, I know we say Lisa Barlow is surface. Erica is not necessarily surface. Erica is something else. And I got to think and ponder on what that is, but she's definitely materialistic because I feel like every single week we're seeing it, especially this season, we're seeing more and more every single week how materialistic she is. Okay? But honestly, in this day and age, $1 million isn't going anywhere, but I'll take it. Like anyone else? I'm not going to turn it down, but yeah. Then Bose asked, what if it was $20 million? And Garcelle's like, well, I'll do it. I've done it for much less. And Erica's was like, well, $20 million. Remember, allegedly, her ex, well, not ex-husband, her estranged husband put $20 million in an LLC under her name. Allegedly. Okay. Anyways, Bo says, what if it was your man that you had to give up? Erica's like, yes, we want the money. It's like, so she's willing to give up her man, like an indecent proposal. She wants the money. She doesn't care. So Dorit decides to bring up, Erica's never been in love. So then they start talking about that in regards to Erica wanting a relationship, or not wanting a relationship. And they were talking about, being in love. And she's like, she still needs some level of penetration to get there. Oh, really? Okay. Do you guys agree that there has to be something physical in order for you to be in love? I don't agree with that. I mean, I think it's important for a long-lasting relationship that aspect be an important part. But to be in love, I don't know if you need that in order to be in love. But Erica's also a Cancer. Cancers, can you relate? Just asking. Okay. So they talk about Erica and her dating. Jennifer Tilly talks about her relationship. And here's the thing. We get another glimpse of Jennifer Tilly and why Jennifer Tilly is great on this show. Jennifer Tilly talks about, she's in love with her current boyfriend. And she talks about her ex-husband who's passed away, one of the creators of The Simpsons. And she talks fondly of him, that, he gave her a really nice divorce settlement. Yes, a percentage of his earnings from The Simpsons. And at the time, we didn't know what The Simpsons were going to make. The Simpsons it still makes millions and millions of dollars. So she gets a percentage. So but mind you, word on the street, even after she divorced Sam, she was still there for him and helping him when he was sick. So they had a nice, loving relationship. And you don't see that a lot in Hollywood when people get divorced or divorced in general. Missy says, no, it's a Cancer. I can't relate. Ellie says, I'm a Cancer. I can love without penetration. Ellie. Okay. So I thought that was a sweet moment that we got from Jennifer Tilly talking about her late ex-husband. Okay. All right. So Garcelle has this beautiful moment that she wants to share with the women where they can make wishes in the lantern. I don't know why we are still doing that. I don't know why. Because it never seems to work out when they do the lanterns and they're trying. Mind you, you're doing it on this beach where we can see, first of all, damn you, Garcelle, having these women on the beach at 62 degrees and windy. So it probably feels colder than that. But probably they didn't know. Look, they didn't know. I wonder what it would have been earlier in the day. Okay. Oh, wait a second, Paulette. Paulette, we're going to do it Friday. Paulette says, Kempire, I have some astrology and dating tea for the 30 and below, but I'm scared to speak. You better call in, Paulette. It's a safe space. Look, as I said, you better call in. No, safe space Friday evening, we're going to do it. I think. I got a lot of stuff to do. As I mentioned, guys, don't forget, I will be presenting at the Crappy Awards with our friends over at Watch What Crappens on Saturday. More information on that I've posted on my Instagram. Also, don't forget our friends over at Rose Forever is sponsoring today's recap of the Real Housewives of New York City reunion and Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. We will be posting the timestamps in regards to each recap. Shout out to Mama Allie and our King's Guards for holding us down. Guys, can we get to 500 likes, please, and thank you? Thank you. All right. So she does this, which is the idea of doing this, making a wish or letting something go in the lantern. It's beautiful. It just never works out when they try to do it on these damn shows. But it was a beautiful idea. Garcelle did a good job. Garcelle was flirting with the men. She's like, give me some white meat, just like how I like my men. She's like, oh, I'm just kidding. Well, she doesn't. No, Garcelle has dated a rainbow of men. She talked about that. Like her, Oliver's father was black, and her younger boys their father was white. She dated Will Smith. She's done some things, okay? So he says, not Kempire being out in the streets on Saturday. You know what? That sounded like Security. All right, y'all. I'm going to wrap this up. Again, if you haven't rated the episode, let me know how you would rate this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Are you enjoying the season? Has the season picked up? They did, at the end of this episode, show us a what's to come for the season in their mid-season trailer. Based on what's to come, it looks interesting. There's a lot of stuff that's going to be unpacked in this group and their relationships and things like that. I'm interested. Sidebar, if Bose decides to come back next season, these women can do it. They can afford this. I want to see them go to Ghana and Bose host it. Please? Look, we haven't been back to Africa on Real Housewives in so long. Bose, and I know Bose would do it, and she'd probably do an amazing job, and she probably can get them to do it for free. She probably knows all the connects. Can we, and Bose, if we can't do Ghana, can we do another African place? I know you have the connects. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So they're going to St. Lucia this year. But Bose, next year, we're going to Ghana. Can I come? No, I'm playing. I'm going to go on my own. But anyways, can we? Let's do it. Let's do it. Anyways, guys, I have to get out of here because I have a 1 o'clock meeting. But I will see you all. I'm going to try, hopefully, maybe later, go live for our Young, Famous, and African conversation to talk about episodes 4 through 8 and also talk about Annie and Tubaba. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Replay crew, we haven't forgotten about you, though. Be sure to let us know your thoughts and opinions on the Rhony reunion and the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And as always, guys, don't forget everything that we talked about today. All links to all the social medias and our P.O. Box and our Rose Forever sponsorship will be available in the description. Thank you all for being here. I will see you all in the next one. Oh, wait, I had a super chat. Please hold. Joe, thank you so much for the super chat. Joe says, to have something long and lasting, he doesn't need to be long and lasting. An appropriate amount of time is good enough for me. Joe, how did your move go? Let us know in the chat. Guys, we're almost at 500 likes. Let's get there. Thank you all for being here. Again, thank you to our mods. Thank you to our members. And thank you to our subscribers. We appreciate your support. Keep liking the video. It's easy and it's free. And shout out to those of you that dislike. It's okay. Thanks for watching, because that's all I care about, really. Bye, y'all.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Thanks for tuning in to Kempire here on the Kempire Radio podcast. As always, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And for everything Kempire Radio, head on over to KempireRadio.com.